All right, I'm gonna jump straight into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another stream, second stream of the day. Back to do another 256 soft resets to get the or towards getting the shiny Squirtle for my badge quest. For anyone that doesn't know what a badge quest is, it's essentially where you have to get a shiny Pokemon before every gym battle and the Elite Four. And that's what I'll be working on with the release of Fire Red and LeafGreen on the Switch, using a copy of Pokemon LeafGreen. I'm not going to explain all the rules for my particular playthrough of the game. So if you want to know the rules, I would refer you to, or I would defer. I don't know the word, or what the correct word would be, but I would ask that you go to my to part 3, the stream that's labeled as part 3, where I explain in a little bit more detail what the rules are for my particular playthrough. In short, I'm only going to be using shiny Pokemon. I'm not doing any other types of challenges on top of doing a badge quest, so no Nuzlocke, no items during battle kind of thing. It's gonna be the way that I would normally play Pokemon, the way that most people would normally play Pokemon, just that I can only use shiny Pokemon. But if you want the specifics of the rules, if you want to hear some of the exceptions that I have, then I would ask you to watch the first like 5 or 10 minutes of my part 3 of this challenge so far. Obviously I have not obtained the shiny Squirtle, so, and I don't know when I'll be getting it. Hopefully sometime by the end of the month if possible. I doubt it, but we'll see how that goes and how often I do stream. And then once I do get the shiny Squirtle, then I can finally move on with continuing with the challenge and work towards battling Brock. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Just like before, I'm gonna be watching videos and whatnot while I do this, so that way I'm not here just sitting looking at a screen for the next 2.5 hours. I've done the math. It seems like I do about 100 resets per hour, which is not bad. The quickest I can do a reset is in like 26 to 27 seconds. So they go by pretty quickly. So let's round it to 1 per 30 seconds. That's at least 60, or sorry, at least 120 per hour. But given that sometimes I might take longer to do a reset because I'm doing something else, I would say that it averages at about 100 per hour, which is not bad. 100 resets per hour is not bad. This is one of the quickest resets that anyone could ever do in a Pokemon game. So that's why it's so quick. Nowadays, resets take like a couple of minutes to do. And don't even get me started on Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon to get the shiny starter. That's crazy. All right, so let me just make sure everything looks good. I'm gonna mute my mic because my dogs, might make noise, especially the one that's sitting in the room with me right now. He tends to bark at stuff, so I'll mute my mic for that purpose. And oh, almost forgot one very important thing. I need to have my counter on. All right, cool. All right, I'll go ahead and turn the background music up a little bit and then mute my mic. I should also mention that I'm gonna be, since I'm doing 256 resets per session, we're looking at getting up to 1,536 resets total for today. And then hello for anyone that is coming to the stream. I didn't have my chat up here, so welcome, welcome. forgot to put on the colorful lights. Yeah. Just want to make sure I had those on. After this reset, I'm gonna take a quick little break. Like I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I gotta do something real quick that I just realized. That's sort of time sensitive. So let me get to the title menu real quick. All right, I'm back and ready to continue. All right, give me 1 sec. Hello and welcome to anyone that's joining on the stream tonight. I'm almost done anyway. I have about 37 more checks to do before I call it a night. But feel free to stay for the last 37. Big Man 303. I got mine at 9,000. Oh my god, 9,000 is ridiculous. I mean, at least it was somewhat close to odds. It was just unfortunate that it got over odds. I kind of expect to get it after I reach odds. I don't think I'm gonna get it before. If I somehow get it before, then that'd be crazy, but I feel like I'll get it after. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Appreciate that. it's like every time I do a check, I always like I get this anticipation like, oh, it's gonna be shiny, and then I'm reminded that it'll not be shiny for a while. It says I was double hunting it, so it didn't take as long. It's still like 50 hours or something. That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is a long time. 50 hours, real time. But imagine you did double hunt. I'm doing one, so it'll take me probably a lot longer when it's all said and done, if I somehow get to around the same odds as you did. But I'm used to, well, I wouldn't say I'm used to it, but I've done already a couple of hunts like this. The last one being was it Groudon? Yeah, it was Groudon. It was Groudon in Ruby. I think I went like a few hundred over odds, but by that point I was double hunting alongside Kyogre in Sapphire, and I got Kyogre at like 7,000 something, and then I did the rest. You know, I did the next however many, you know, almost couple thousand, like 1,500, almost 2,000 on just Ruby alone. I think it took me like 3 months total to get both. At some point, I do want to do Deoxys whenever I do get to the end of... well, maybe not this one, because I have a copy of Fire Red, and then I have another copy of Leaf Green on my other Switch account. So I'll probably double hunt it there whenever I get to that, while this one's doing the badge quest. But I also want a soft reset for a shiny starter in those games, so it'll probably take me just as long. So that's good. You got them pretty close together. My last one before Squirtle was Kyogre and Sapphire. I think that was like the time that I was like the most excited to get a shiny, because I want to say that was the first time that I ever purposefully hunted for a shiny in Gen 3. I've gotten a couple of like 3 or 4 shiny Pokemon mainly in Fire Red and Leaf Green on my physical copies, but those were just like random encounters that I wasn't even trying to hunt for anything. I was just grinding. But Kyogre and Groudon were the first ones that I truly ever purposefully hunted for, and it was awesome. I've done most of my hunting in Gen 6 because it's so easy to do some of the hunts with how many methods they have. But I would like to do a lot more Gen 3 and 4 and 5 hunting for sure. What I'd like to do is actually set up a hunt where I'm just doing random encounters in the grass with all 5 of the Gen 3 games. I just need to get 3 more of the GB operators to kind of get that done, because I have 2 already. I want 3 more to then be able to do all 3 games. And I've also set up a few hunts in my on some of my games. Like I started this Dialga hunt in Diamond and Platinum like over like a year, maybe a little over a year ago, and I haven't done much past like, I don't know, 500 or 600 resets. Probably a lot less. Let me look that up actually. 600, yeah, 600 in a double hunt. So I still have that one to do. It says Nice Cover was part of my batch quest. I really like hunting in Gen 3. I don't know why. Like Gen 3 is a great like nostalgic era game with, I mean, it's not always the best for shiny hunting, but I mean, if you like it because it's such a pure way to hunt shiny Pokemon. It's really the only game that has like the purest form of shiny hunting, which is strictly pure or strictly full odds. Because Gen 2 you have the shiny parents when it comes to like egg hatching. So long as at least one parent is shiny, like if you have a shiny Ditto, then you can hatch for a lot of shiny Pokemon with 1 in 128 odds or something crazy like that. Or if both are shiny, if both parents are shiny, then the best odds are like 1 in 64, like something crazy like that. And then Gen 4 introduced Masuda method, and then Gen 5 introduced the shiny charm for Black 2 and White 2, and so on and so forth. But I guess that's why, I mean, I don't know if that would be your reason, but to me, I feel like Gen 3 shiny hunting is it's the most rewarding because it has the purest form. There's no way to boost your shiny odds at all. So each shiny feels like you've earned it. Even the random encounter ones, it feels like, oh wow, I just got so lucky that I got one. But I don't know if I would ever do a shiny badge quest in I think Emerald, because Emerald has the broken RNG problem. I can see doing one in Ruby and Sapphire. I don't know if I ever would just do one, period. I want to see how this goes first before I decide doing something like that in another game, or something like this in another game. Let's see, if I were in Emerald for my first game, so it's probably just nostalgia. It could be. Emerald was my first game, and I've played that game so many times. I have 2 copies actually, both copies of which I've done so much. I've played so much. I do like the no method hunting too. I personally would like to have, in some, not in every case, but in some cases, some method options. Like I think Gen 6 has the best options for method hunting, like with chain fishing, the radar hunting in X and Y, the Dex Nav in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Geez, the words. And horde hunting, horde encounters. And then of course like Masuda. Those are fun in that, like, especially when it comes to chain fishing, which I've done a lot of in like recently in Gen 6, especially with X and Y, where that one takes a little bit of skill to do. So when you're doing it correctly and you time everything correctly, you can get a shiny. I think literally my fastest shiny was in like 12 encounters. From starting from zero, because then I got another shiny like 4 encounters later doing the chain fishing, but that was already in a chain, so I wouldn't really count that. It was a small phase, but the quickest from 0 was like 12. It says yeah, I did it's a get far away island Mew event I'm planning on doing 1 always for. Yeah, with the broken RNG and Emerald, I think that's really the only way that you can do that. Unless the only other way would be that if you can find out what your secret ID is, you can just use what's that program? What's the program that people use for the RNG stuff? Something RNG, or I forget what it's called. But if you know your secret ID, then you can use that to then figure out what is the shiny frame. which I feel like if I were to do any static encounter in Emerald, that would be the way that I would do it, purely because I don't want to do the runaway method. It's kind of like it's tedious, and it's not cheating. Like using the RNG program would be technically cheating, but I don't think I have the time to do runaway encounters for all of the event Pokemon in those games. It's not. I wouldn't think it'll be fun to do it the runaway method. Although I don't think it'll be fun either doing the RNG manipulation one. Like I can see doing a couple just for shits and giggles, but then you're getting shiny so quickly, it's like, oh well, I like to, you know, take the time and do it. One thing I do want to do on my physical copies is do the Eon duo on what's the island called? Southern Island. I think it's Southern Island is what it's called. Because in those games, using the GB operator, I backed up my save file onto my computer, put it into PK Hex, gave myself in both of those games the event tickets because obviously those events are long past. I gave myself the event tickets, like the mystery ticket, the Eon ticket, and the other one, the Aurora ticket, so that I can go. Well, no, in Ruby and Sapphire would just be the Eon ticket. Mystic and Aurora are only in Emerald, I believe. But in Ruby and Sapphire, I gave myself the Eon ticket so that I can go to the Southern Island and do a soft reset encounter for Latios and Latias in both Ruby and Sapphire. That's a hunt that I'll probably do one of these days, like in between doing the batch quest, because I know this shit's gonna take me forever. Yeah. And then I did the same thing with Emerald, where I gave myself all of those tickets plus the old C map. I know that the Mew wouldn't be eligible to be transferred past Gen 5, but I think for fun, you know, I think that'd be cool to do and do a shiny hunt for that. And then if I were to LeafGreen, I have the in the physical copies, I have all the tickets too. So Deoxys would be one that I would do a dual hunt for in those games. But we'll see. Those will be fun to do. It's probably something I'll do in between this batch quest. Let's see. I'm hoping if they port Emerald and the Switch, they fix the RNG. You know, I was thinking about that the other day. I feel like with how the RNG works in the game, and I don't think they intended for it to happen the way that it did. Part of me feels like if they tried to fix it, they would actually cause the game to not work properly. It seems like a weird thing to say, but I am under the impression that the game would actually not work properly at all if they try to fix the RNG. if they can find a way to fix it, I mean, they would have to like remake the game from the ground up. I know for Firebird and Leaf Green, they fixed a couple of issues. Like they fixed the roar glitch. They fixed the or not fixed, but they like they gave you the event items that you normally would have to have gotten through mystery gift events. And there was another thing that they fixed too that I can't remember what it was. But nothing that was like catastrophic to the game. I feel like the RNG, the way that it works in Emerald would be kind of game breaking if I'm going to be honest. Unless they're able to do it like they did with Ruby and Sapphire, like the way that the RNG works there, if they're able to make that code work with Emerald, then perfect. Then that would resolve the issue. I mean, even Ruby and Sapphire have their RNG issue only with a dry battery. The RNG somewhat works when the battery does work. I mean, a YouTuber was able to make a patch for it through an e-reader, so I think Game Freak can figure it out. But I wouldn't put it past them to not fix it. Probably. I mean, I never knew that someone actually did fix it using I mean, an e-reader of all things is kind of interesting. To me, I would have thought that maybe they would have cracked open the coding and done something that way. But with an e-reader is interesting. But like you said, I'm with you on the part where you know, I wouldn't put it past them to not fix it. Although I think that the game would highly benefit from that. I can't remember what the other glitch was with this game. I think it was really just roar and just adding the mystery gift stuff. And what's weird is that I've only ever seen the confirmation of the event tickets with a Japanese player, not from a non, you know, a Western player, like from Europe or South America or North America. I haven't seen anyone talk about it there. I'm not saying that it's not true what the Japanese player was able to do or was able to show. But it's weird that I've only ever seen the proof of it from a Japanese player and not from someone, you know, in the West. My hope too is that maybe they'll bring even the Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles. I know we got that on the 3DS, but that's a console that's not even supported anymore, so I would hope that those games eventually make their way too. And I'm also for what? What do you mean? For what? To what? To what did I say? The Japanese player thing. Oh no! So saying that I just find it weird that that the only person that has confirmed that you get the event items is from someone that sped ran, play through the game in like a few hours on the day of release. That we've only seen the confirmation from that. I'm not saying that what they posted was invalid. I'm just saying that I've only ever seen the confirmation from someone in Japan that played the game and posted it online. I myself have not seen someone like in the Americas or in Europe or anywhere else also post it online about it. I've seen English players get to. Okay, so I guess I just haven't been on social media, specifically with Pokemon Red and LeafGreen stuff on the Switch. But I believe that they're there, because no one has also come out and said that, oh yeah, actually this person was lying. So I assume that it is in the game. One thing I wish too that I was going to mention is that I don't like the idea that, well, one, I don't know why X Seagull of Darkness is coming out first before Colosseum. Kind of a weird choice, but okay. But that's not the point that I'm going to be talking about. I don't like the fact that those games are coming to NSO. I would prefer that they came out as a port, because I don't think that the games will have connectivity to Fire Red and LeafGreen, or even Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, if those eventually do come out. So there wouldn't be a way to transfer Pokemon between both games. And I would also think that they wouldn't do the bonus disc for both games, where you get the Celebi and the Jirachi in their respective games. Unless in Emerald they just put Jirachi and Celebi in the game through some event, or you just go up to to an NPC in the Pokemart and you just pick it up, which would be kind of weird, but I still would have preferred a port of XC and Colosseum for that reason. I would like to be able to connect the games to each other. It says, yeah, there is a note on the XC reveal saying there is no way to connect XC to home or LeafGreen and Fire Red. Yeah, I think, to me, that's so stupid. And that's why I have a physical copy of Colosseum for now. Eventually I want to get a copy of XD. I don't have the bonus disc for Colosseum. Wait, did Colosseum have a bonus disc? Or is that Japanese only? I can't remember. I think Colosseum had a bonus disc, but I don't think I would get the one with the bonus disc for XD because of just how expensive it is. I mean, the game already on its own is expensive. With the bonus disc, it's going to cost a lot more. Now, I can see where when they ported over, or not ported, but when they put the stadium games on NSO, it makes sense because they don't have the Game Boy, the original Game Boy games on the console, so you can't connect those games and put your Pokemon in those games to use for battling. Now, if they do eventually put the original games on here, then it would suck not to be able to use them in the stadium games, but I don't think a lot of people would be doing that. I think only the hardcore people would do it, the hardcore fans. Jirachi was English, Celebi was Japanese. Oh, for both Colosseum. Okay, I thought Jirachi was XC then. Okay, it says XC didn't have a bonus. Okay, so it didn't have a bonus. I thought it did, but I might have been just remembering wrong. Because I knew there was Celebi and Jirachi. I just assumed that one was for one game, one was for the other. So I guess what, the only way to get Celebi, or sorry, the only way to get Celebi, I guess would have been through just a mystery gift distribution. Let's see, I've got three more checks to do. But to what I was saying, yeah, it makes sense to not to have Stadium in NSO because there's no port of the original titles, of the GB titles. But then to have a game like XC or Coliseum that are coming to NSO that do have in real life connectivity with Fire Red and LeafGreen, that are ports on the Switch instead of NSO games, the lack of connectivity does really suck. You know, it'd be really cool. Pokemon box. That'd be awesome. I have a copy of Pokemon box, and that is a very interesting story. Which I'll tell now here in a second. All right, so I'm sure you're aware that Pokemon box in North America, the North American copy, is stupid expensive, like $7,000. Stupid expensive. I did not have to spend $7,000 on that game because there's a workaround that a lot of people do not know. And by doing this workaround, I saved myself like around $6,500. And that trick is you buy a European copy, but you have to buy a European GameCube, which both are very cheap. The European GameCube I bought off of eBay for like $150, and the European version or the PAL version of Pokemon box was like the same price, like 160 something, 170 something, or no, maybe it was a little bit more. Maybe it was like 200. It actually was, no, it was like 250. It was like 250. I paid like 400 plus total for everything. Because what's great about the European version of Pokemon box is that it works with any non-Japanese version of the GBA games, no matter where they're from, whether it's a European copy in English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish, or the American copy, which is only in English. So it doesn't check for if the region is compatible, it just checks for if the language is compatible. So you can't use a Japanese copy of Fire Red with a European or American version of this is my last check, so I'll put that there. Yeah, so you can't use a Japanese version of Fire Red or any of the other Gen 3 games with a Western copy of Pokemon box because the language, there's no compatibility there. And same thing the other way around. You can't use a Western copy of the GBA games with a Japanese copy of Pokemon box. Japanese Gen 3 games only work with Japanese box, and the European copy works with any non-Japanese language games. The American copy only works with English. And I don't know if it works with European English, but I know it works for American or for North American English. So, but again, to my point, I bought the European game. I bought the European Xbox GameCube. European GameCube. I spent about $400+ on everything, and it works like a charm. It says, yeah, I'm not sure why anyone would buy the North American version. Like, even as a collector, the price is insane. I mean, if you can afford it, definitely get it. Like, if you're someone that just has the money to spend, or I mean, even if you take out a loan or something for it, and you want to invest, or you want it for investment purposes, like you buy it and then give it a few years and it'll be worth probably double of what it's worth now, then go ham, I guess. But even as a collector, like you said, like as a collector, like unless you have all of this, what's the word? You have all of this like a disposable income, then why not, right? But there was just no way. There was no way that I was gonna, like, I love Pokemon. I don't love it that much. Let me see if I have it somewhere. I know I have it somewhere up here. Oh, okay. I'm gonna grab it here real quick. Here we go. All right, so here it is. And then you can see here the European, it's the PEGI rating system, just just for proof there. And then what's cool about it is that even the inside, it has like this hexagonal thing around the disc, and the North American copies or the North American GameCube cases don't have that. And then my European GameCube is somewhere in a box. Oh, actually it's in a bin over there. And I have 3 total GameCubes. All of them are silver, so it's very confusing to tell which one is which by physical appearance. I have 3. Oh, sorry. I had 2 from being a kid, or from when I was a kid. Oh my God, I can't even speak today. I have 3 from when I was a child. But I only discovered that I had the second one like 10 years ago. It was like stored away, which is kind of interesting. But I originally had an indigo GameCube, and then I broke that one and got it replaced by a silver one, or with the silver one. But yeah, to your point, I don't know why anyone would want to have such an expensive game. I wish I had money like Logan Paul, where he can buy $1 million Pokemon cards. I hate the guy, but damn, if only I was that stinky, filthy rich. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a day now, because I already reached my goal for the stream with 1536 resets. I'm not sure when I'm going to come back, like to stream again. So yeah, I'm happy I got 8% of my collection when I was younger because of this shit. Yeah, dude, I'm on the same boat as you, because like knowing today how expensive it is just to buy a copy of Pokemon Emerald, or even like Black 2 and White 2, it's ridiculous. And these are just for the games themselves. Emerald is like $200+ at least, and then Black 2 and White 2 are like $150+. Just the game. If you want like with the case, if you want a complete in box, then you're looking at, I think Emerald is like $500 or $600 complete in box. Wrong one. Hold on. Okay, here it is. It's not in the best condition. It's not in great condition. But I still have my original box. So this, and I have all the paperwork in here too. Like I have all the paperwork that came in here. I think I might actually have the cardboard that held the game. Actually, no, never mind. I don't have the cardboard. Nah, I got rid of that shit a long time ago. But yeah, dude, like I still have all this stuff. Yeah, I don't throw away my shit. I was 7 when I got this game. I was 7 when almost 8 when I got it for Christmas, 2005. I just don't have the cardboard. I also have the box for LeafGreen. I never got a box of like the complete box of Fire Red because I got Fire Red like a little bit after, like a few years after. So I don't have the box for that. So my LeafGreen is also there. But what I also did was I bought also in the shelf back there, I bought so I bought one Japanese copy. Well, except for Ruby and Sapphire, I have 2 Japanese copies of each. Or do I have 3? I can't remember. I have like 2, I think. I have 2. I have 2 of each. But I have at least one of each of the Gen 3 games in Japanese. And I bought them all as complete in box. And they were super cheap by comparison. They were like between 70 and $100 each. But I mean, I bought these like months apart, so I didn't like buy them all at once. But I bought some of these complete, or all of them complete in box. So I have all the boxes here in the shelf. So Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, LeafGreen, pretty cool stuff. I'm also trying to get my collection of the Pokemon games in Japanese. I'm like a quarter of the way done with the games. They're all relatively inexpensive because they're not as in demand. I would say they're like $30 to $50 each, and complete in box too, which is insane. The only thing that I need though, that it's actually on the way, is I bought a Japanese DSi, because if you want to play a Japanese game on a DSi, it has to be a Japanese one because of the region locking. I could play it on a regular DS, like a DS Lite or a fat DS, but the DSi is just a lot better. I have so much shit, dude. I have so many things that I just buy off of eBay. Like if you saw my 3DS collection, you'd lose your mind. To give you an idea, I have 11 3DSs. 3 of which are new 3DS XLs. One of those, which is not here, I think it's okay, no, it's over there. One of which has a capture card. So whenever I do 3DS content, like when I'm playing or like actually recently when I did not recently, this was a year ago, when I did the chain fishing shiny hunting stuff for like some of the mega evolutions that I was kind of like doing like a side challenge for that. I use that 3DS to capture everything. So that one was expensive. That one was like $600, and I had it imported from New Zealand or Australia. I don't know where it was, but there's a guy there that on his eBay, what he does is that he buys Japanese consoles, and he installs the capture hardware, but he sells them for like $600, give or take, depending on the model. Like it's somewhere a little bit cheaper, somewhere more expensive. But given that it was a new 3DS XL, the most expensive 3DS, it was around $600. I should do a video. I should definitely do a video. If you're not aware, I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, I have my YouTube right there, where I post like whenever I'm feeling in the mood to make a video. I should do a gaming collection or a console collection. You'd be surprised at the amount of stuff that I have and the amount of money that everything is worth. Luckily, I bought a lot of the stuff when it was cheaper, like before COVID, so I feel like, that's just an extra video that I can do to post on there, just so that I can have some kind of content flowing. And yeah, and just go through whatever other stuff I have. Probably 2 separate videos, one of the games and then one for the consoles themselves. So but I'm gonna get out of here in a minute. I think what I'm gonna do is, let me see what I'm available to stream. Wait, what? Didn't? Pending approval. Okay, pending approval. Never mind. What was I saying? Okay, so I think I'll probably won't be back until like Tuesday afternoon, like after 1 o'clock probably. If I can, I mean, I have like 4 days in a row where I can stream for a good couple of hours or so. So I'll probably just do that next week. So between Tuesday and Friday, I'll probably stream at least like 2 of those days, maybe a third day. So feel free if you want to come by Big Mac. If you have the like, if you're not busy, if you want to come hang out again, and for anyone else too watching, and hopefully I can get to like, I don't know, 2,500 total by the end of the week next week, and hopefully get a shiny. I don't think I'll get a shiny by then, but any progress is progress. All right. Yeah, so let's aim for Tuesday the 17th, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll continue with this hunt. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Big Mac, for being here today. I know you caught me at the tail end of it, even though it was uneventful anyway, up until that point. So I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday for some more boring shiny hunting. And of course, let's hope that we get the shiny, sooner rather than later, so I can finish this, or continue, not finish, but continue with this challenge. All right. Take care, and I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday.